Hello and welcome to Let's Talk, enriching life through a podcast. I urge, as usual, please like and subscribe if you really get value of our conversations, our guests, where we really work hard to get the quality guest to ensure that when you see our podcast or listen to our podcast, it makes you think. That is the whole philosophy and mantra of our initiative here. So your subscription definitely help us to grow and bring more and more guests and more thought-provoking ideas to you. So that being said, it's a story time. There was this small town nestled in the mountains where the residents were accustomed to living a simple life. Every day they wake up to a chirping of trees, rustling of leaves, mountain breeze, so on and so forth. It was a peaceful life, but that could also be lonely at times. One day, a stranger arrived in the town. He was a traveler. He had explored the mountains and the surrounding wilderness. He was a kind and curious person. He quickly made friends with locals, but there was something peculiar about him. He always carried a leather bound notebook with him. He would spend hours scribble notes in it. The townspeople were intrigued about this notebook, and they often asked about it, what he was writing. He always smiled and say, "Just my thoughts and observations." But as the time passed, the town people began to notice a change in their behavior. They would start leaving handwritten notes for each other, whether it was a simple hello or a personal message. At first, it was just few notes here and there, and as soon as the handwritten notes become a part of their daily routine, people would leave notes at the doorstep, to the strangers, in the front porch, mailbox. It was just a simple gesture, but it made a huge impact. The town became happier and more connected place, and people smiled more often. They took some time to stop and chat with each other. And the traveler noticed this change and smiled to himself. He realized that the notebook has really sparked a change in the town and brought people closer together. Handwritten letters are becoming rarer, as US Postal Services report in one of the article there that the letters has declined by more than 40% since 2001, and due to rise of the other communication mediums, specifically the digital ones like email. Handwritten notes can also make an impact. In survey, one of the in business professionals, I would say 68% said that the handwritten notes make a positive impact, while only 49% said that the same about the email, which is one of the Harvard Business Review study in 2018 by John Coleman. So you must have understood now what kind of a context we are trying to set here. So in today's episode, I have a pleasure to. Okay, I think I lost it. No, okay, you. Sorry. So I had a pleasure to invite and speaking with Rick Elmore. He's the founder and CEO of Simply Noted. Simply Noted is a company that uses artificial intelligence and robotic handwriting technologies to produce personalized and handwritten notes and cards at scale. So, Rick, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
The pleasure is all ours. So, I did some research and found that the starting of your overall endeavor, we found that you were inspired by one of your professors in your school project, where he mentioned about the handwritten notes that they have more than 99% of the open rate, and then you get started, I think around $10,000 of credit card debt, and from there the journey the journey begins, and now we are talking about maybe hundreds of thousands of business revenue coming here. So I would like to ask a question around the part where you get inspired by your professor, and then when you put your own $10,000 credit card debt, how was the journey looks like in terms of how many people you talked about your vision, your family members, were they appreciative, or everyone has their doubt in terms of your entrepreneurial skill here?
Well, first off, that's a great question. I think when anytime you tell somebody you want to start a business, I think it's just such an unconventional, unnormal thing that people are just hesitant because it's something that they've never done. So it's easy for them to think that it can't be done. But yeah, when we started Simply Noted, it really began out of a necessary need. And I can really dive back into like the real depths and details of like why I've just fit into being an entrepreneur and why this business makes so much sense. But yeah, I was in my marketing class in 2017. I went back and did my MBA.
Mhm.
I was about a year into the program, and I remember talking to my wife. I was like, I feel like, I want to learn more. I want to become better. I want to evolve. I was searching for something. I was having all this success at everything I was doing, but I
Mhm.
felt like I wanted more. And that's why I went back and did my MBA. And about a year into the program, I was absorbing everything I was learning. I was sitting there in my econ class, my stats class, my marketing classes, and trying to apply it to whatever I was learning. And this marketing professor just completely changed my life. And one of these classes, they're about 3.5 hour long classes on a weekday, after work, and going through all the success rates in marketing. And I was a sales guy back then, so like we didn't rely on marketing. We just cold called, knocked on doors, built relationships, and just hunted all our deals. But he said some stat that was just so like amazing to me that it just made so much sense that I needed to pursue it or research it and dive more into it. And he was like, email is like single digit success, direct mail, digital, all these things were so nominal and not exciting. And then he ends the lecture saying, hey guys, you know what still works now, if not better than ever, is a good old fashioned handwritten note. Like they're rare, people don't get them anymore. We live in a digital world. They're opened up 99% of the time,
Mhm.
and they're just special. They're so uncommon. I just thought that was such a no brainer
Yeah,
because we live in a digital world from, like you said, 2001 to basically 2023, the year we're in now.
yeah,
We're in the digital revolution, and now we're going to the AI revolution. And what matters in business is relationships, and what better tool or thing to do is build a better relationship with your client, and a handwritten note's a great way to do that.
that's great. So, have you given any kind of a major share, or he would be a major equity partner, your professor, because he
We did
gave
a
you the idea now?
Yeah, when we sent our 1 millionth handwritten note, we sent it to him at the university, thanking him for the idea.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, but I mean, yeah, I think it's really important to always be curious and searching and growing. And I mean, that's exactly what I was trying to do at the University of Arizona, Eller Business School. And I'm very fortunate, and lucky, and appreciative of everything they've done for me and my family.
Yeah, that's great. So, when you start this, does that have any impact being you as a sports person? Because I recall I was reading somewhere that you were also in NFL. So would that, like
Mhm.
being in that competitive sports, gave you some kind of influence in the way you think or start up something without having a regular fear of being fail in something what you're starting? Rick, you there? Have we lost you?
Yep, yep, yeah. You just cut out. So I think your question was about having athletics in my background.
Yeah, being a sports person, does that have any
Yeah.
influence in the way how you think starting something new, which is against either a norm or being having a human psychology that when you do or go to a path unknown, there's always a fear of failure.
So, well, fear of failure, that was something I struggled with probably my whole entire athletic career. Even though I failed every single day nonstop, I mean, that's just a part of the process of growing and within whatever you're doing. But being an athlete, has a massive role in my life, and I am extremely thankful for what it's done for me. It's given me all the I would say basic skills to be successful in life. You know, being a hard worker, persistent. You know, uh, competitive. You know, never giving up. You know, get knocked down 7 times, get up 8 times, and that was
Mhm.
basically ingrained into my DNA for almost 20 years. You know, I was very lucky. I had a really good high school career, and then was me and my twin brother got scholarships to the University of Arizona, and then had a really good college career. Always thought I was going to play football until I was like
Mhm.
30 because I was just like I was so obsessed with it. But yeah, I got to play in the NFL for 3 years. I got to live out my childhood dream. But you know, like most athletes, you know, 99% of the athletes, and I would say majority of the athletes are just they're there for 3 or 4 years, um, and then they're on to the next thing. It's just because it's so competitive, and there's always a new guy coming in who's cheaper, younger, and healthier than you. So it's very competitive. But
Yeah.
when I got done, I still had that fire. I still, you know, I just turned 35. I still have that fire, if not now more than ever, because you know, as an athlete, I was kind of held in a box. And when you're held in this box, like you know, you have like this like agenda every single day. You wake up, you go to workouts, then you go to class, then you go to, you know, training table, and then you go to meetings and practice, and then back to training table. So everything was very regimented, and they kept you within a box. But now being in the business world and learning something that learning something new and applying all these new skills, like I just feel like my tunnel vision has become so much wider, and it's a lot more exciting. You know, now that you know I've been an entrepreneur for 5 years, I've developed all these business skills, marketing, sales, engineering. You know, we're building robots, we're doing industrial automation.
Mhm.
So I'm more excited now than ever, to say the least, about you know this process.
That's amazing. Which brings me to one of the thought here. I was reading that a lot of sports people who spend like majority of their life in getting that excellence in terms of achieving new goals in terms of the sports, and they haven't done much on the other sector walks of their life. For example, maybe family, friends, because they're too much engrossed in making sure that they are perfect. And then when their career finishes or they retire, most of them get into a depression because they don't know what to do next. However, it seems
Yeah.
that from your side, you have either you must have experienced it or you have overcome. What's your perspective or message to the people who are changing the course of their career? And I mean, any insights if you would like to tell to them?
So that is a really hard thing. You know, when you've done something for so long, it's almost like a part of you dies,
Yeah.
and it's really hard. There's like a postmortem to it. Like it's really hard to get over. And I wouldn't say I did the best job. I definitely struggled through that transition because everybody does. But you know, being almost, well, I mean, how many years? Almost 10 years now removed from being an athlete, you have to change your mindset. Like now it's like I'm happy that I went through that because it gave me all these skills, and then it allowed me to go to my like the next level of my life. And then I would say that I don't know if you can. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I think there was got stuck, but yeah, yeah. Please carry on.
Hello,
Yep,
I'm
you're there.
back.
Yeah, yeah, back. Okay.
Yeah, what I was saying is that, you know, as you get older and you've gone through that once or twice, you start realizing it's about stacking your skills or stacking your knowledge and evolving and growing and becoming a better version of yourself. And that
I think you got stuck again.
hi,
Okay, you're
I'm
back
back.
again. Yes.
Yeah, so I guess what I was saying, I hope it doesn't cut out again. Um, is that you know once you get past that first or second you know time where you make that transition, it's really tough. You start to realize that you're learning things at each stage of your life, and then you start to stack them, and it makes you a better version of yourself, which makes you more valuable, gives you more knowledge, helps you be more successful. So it's definitely a necessary part of life to go through change. And if you fight it, you're not going to allow yourself to grow. So be kind to yourself. Understand that it's just a part of the process, and you got to change your mindset from like I'm not dying. It's just like I'm growing. And once you figure that out and you can take everything you've learned from the past and apply it to the future, your life's just going to become that much better.
Great advice. So I'm not dying. I'm growing. So which is an excellent way of taking a next role in your life, because not everything is permanent in life. So that's well said about
The only,
how.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
only constant thing in life is change. That's it. Like, and
Yes,
if you try to
exactly.
fight that and control it, yeah, I heard this really good quote the other day. It's like when you're starting to feel overwhelmed, it's because you're trying to control an outcome. And if you're trying to control your life, control your future, control your job, control your family, kids, whatever, like that's when you start becoming stressed and getting anxiety and becoming overwhelmed. Understand that, do your best and good things will come to you. And bad things happen sometimes, but you can't control everything. The more you fight it, the more you try to control it, the harder and more stressed out you're going to be. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so profound. Actually, you just mentioned that exactly. I mean, a very profound thing which you just mentioned is that, yeah, everyone tries to control things and they get into the anxiety and stress. So yeah, just let it
Mm-hmm.
do what you really believe in and just go with the flow. I know it's difficult, but at least we have to start with the thought, then get into the action.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing is, you got to be a good person, you got to do the right thing, but you also got to surround yourself by the right people.
Yes. Yes, so important, I think. Negative people, I mean, in the surroundings of negative people, it's you can really sucked into all the stress, anxiety, and negativity exponentially versus the
Mm-hmm.
positive people. I mean, good things come slowly, but bad things come rapidly. So it's definitely one of the thing. I totally agree with that. So that being
Oh, what a,
said,
yep,
yeah, you able to hear me? Yeah.
yep.
Yep. Okay. So now let's get to the next segment. So we discussed about the starting, how the mindset works, what exactly brings you to simply note it. Now, in terms of building this business, what are the key challenges you have faced? Because obviously, this kind of a novel idea, uh, maybe at that time, or you were like there were already some competitors in a different flavors. They are doing a similar kind of job.
Yeah, so when we started this, there was a competitor, but they were focusing on the
Okay.
wedding market, which I thought was just the absolute bad idea. If you've ever been married,
Uh-huh.
you understand how stressful it is to plan a wedding and how often that guest list changes. And
Yes.
you're literally trying to hunt down like 1 and 2 time clients, like not repeat. There you go. I thought this would be an incredible business tool because businesses have like the software in place to automate this or scale it. They have the budgets in place. Clients and retention and relationships matter. There's also another company that was doing like B2C, so like trying to get the general public to send their friends like thank you cards, which I thought was another terrible idea. So, like I hate to say it, but there's no such thing as an original idea. Like everybody's out there, it's been done. It's just what you do is you take it and make it better.
Mhm.
I think that's what we had the mindset of doing, is that we can do this better. But fast forward 5 years, this has been an incredible challenge. I never thought I would have to build robotics. I never knew I was going to be getting into, majority of my payroll is like electrical engineers, software engineers, mechanical engineers, full stack developers. So like I'm working with people I've never had to work with before, trying to talk a language I've never had to talk. So I'm like, it's been incredibly challenging. But yeah, I think that the way that Simply Note is a little different. We've attacked and built our own handwriting robot, which nobody's ever done. We've really focused on the product and the technology versus sales and marketing. If you're starting a business, you can't focus on sales and marketing because eventually, like, your business has to be able to scale with the sales and marketing. So we've kind of done it more painful and backwards.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's been an incredible challenge. This has not been easy. I think I'm a perfect example to anybody out there who says, "Oh, it's going to be hard." I don't know how to do it. Like, you figure it out, and how you figure it out is you ask questions, and you seek consulting, and you get people's opinions, and just try to pick it up piece by piece, versus trying to swallow it
Yeah.
all in one time.
That's 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 great actually. One of the things which I really like about what you mentioned to summarize as well is that you did not have a background in robotics, and as you mentioned that, and a lot
Mm-mm.
of software stuff. You are an NFL star now, coming as a part of talking about the codes, talking about robotics, talking about
Mm-hmm.
those technical jargons, maybe which you were not even aware. It shows that it's not about learning each and everything. It's first of all knowing what your north star is, and then try to, as you mentioned as well, that try to reach out to the people, talk to them, discuss about what's your vision is. And this is a human psyche as well, that when you are very passionate about certain things, you try to discuss about, oh, this is something which I have a vision. People tend to incline and gravitate towards you and try to give you some suggestions, and you never know how those suggestions shape up. And now you are really one of the example which showcase that part. So, in getting
Thank you.
into that, okay, so you have a company you built up, you learn about a lot of things, and I learned about some of your earlier podcasts and articles. Like, you also have some patent going towards that as well. So, what are some of the success stories, or maybe one of the success story which you would like to share, which really resonate and brings you that, yes, this is exactly why I started this venture.
So we actually tested this.
Mhm.
So you kind of mentioned it earlier. Like, I got a $10,000 0% interest credit card, but after that little, like, aha light bulb moment when I was doing my MBA in that marketing class, I actually bought, like, a really crappy pen plotter from China,
Mhm.
assembled it, and about about over like 4 to 6 weeks, like, wrote like 500 really bad handwritten notes. I mean, the quality was terrible, but I mean, I had no clue what I was doing. But I wanted to test it and see, like, hey, if my idea would work. So I pulled like a free list of clients. I was in the medical sales industry. I pulled like a free list offline of clients I was not working with in my territory. I sent about 500 handwritten notes. I'm sure some of them didn't make it because the quality was so terrible.
Mhm.
Um, and I had like a $50,000 a month quota at the time for my sales job. And from those 500 handwritten notes, like, we'd sent them out, and these doctors would just start calling me, and they'd be like, first off, if you're in sales and your client's calling you, like, you're doing something right. But
Yes.
yeah. And the doctors were like, hey, Rick, like, first off, like, thanks for sending me this handwritten note. Like, this is cool. Like, no one's doing that anymore. And I obviously was like pitching. I was trying to schedule a meeting. They're like, hey, let's schedule lunch and talk some more about this. And off those 500 handwritten notes, I had a $50,000 a month quota. I sold about $280,000 of new business, which was about $28,000 in
Wow.
commission. And I mean, that's when the entrepreneurial seizure moment of excitement went off. Like, my VP of sales in the company was like, Rick, what are you doing? Like, we gotta do this company wide. This is amazing. And from that moment on, like, that's when my med sales career was basically over. Put it on autopilot until I jumped in doing this with 2 feet in 2019. But I think you really got to take your time approaching things. I think you got to manage your own expectations, manage your own excitement, because when people get ideas, usually what happens is, like, you have all that motivation, like, that goes like super high in the beginning, and then as you start hitting roadblocks, like, you just see that motivation go like, like, it goes way
Yes.
down. So
So
we
true.
did. I'm back. You there?
Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm saying, what we did is we just did a really good job of taking our time, talking to a lot of people, seeing if this would be a viable option or product or, a business. I talked to some people, like some people in business said, "Hey, would you buy this?" And they're like, "Absolutely, that's a no-brainer." So I was like, once we, took about 6 to 10 months of just like really diving into this, even after that success early on, in 2017, 18, like we finally took the plunge and jumped in with 2 feet. But it just takes curiosity, it takes grit, it takes excitement, it takes a village, it takes your family, it takes a massive support circle. And when I think what happened with me, at least, is my family obviously has known me my whole life. They've known me as somebody who never quit regardless of how hard it got. So it made it really easy. And I've been pretty successful at everything I've done, not because of anything but hard work. Like literally, like if you look at my draft profile when I got drafted in the NFL, like it literally says like he's a high motor guy, like which is just like another word for saying he works hard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think they said like I was like a unorthodox size, which was like they said had like a weird like frame and size with a high motor. So it was pretty funny. But yeah, so when I told my family I was going to do this, like obviously they're hesitant because like I had a wife, I had a child, I had a good stable job and career, but they knew me and my character. They're like, Rick, when
Mm-hmm.
he wants something, he makes it happen, and it's not because he's the smartest guy in the room. It's because he'll work his butt off. He won't quit. He'll figure it out, and failure is not an option for him. So, and I couldn't have done
Yeah.
this without the support of my family. Like you have to have support because there's been a
Yes.
ton of a ton of bad days over the last 5 years. A lot of hard days. Yeah, couldn't
Yeah,
have done it
it's
without
not
him.
surprising. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
surprising. And you said that you should know what you want. And this is which seems as simple as that is very difficult. When people do what they
Mm-hmm.
do, and when you ask why you do it, a lot of people they don't have a clear answer. So like Simon Sinek, one of the
Mm-hmm.
motivator, right? The power of why. So you always mention that you should have why, and then you will see how the things really
Mm-hmm.
comes along. So that's an amazing story, Rick, from that perspective. So coming to your current, I would say, situation. So where your business stands right now, and what's your future vision?
You know what? I couldn't be more excited about where we are as a business. We've done a really good job of. We're the only player in our space that's built their own handwriting robot, who's done this with no loan, no debt, no investors. We're completely customer funded. We've been
Wow.
profitable since day one. We did not do anything unless we had the money, so we had to sell first, and take the profits from that sale and put it back in the business. I owe that to my background. That's where the
Mhm,
athlete in me,
mhm,
the hard working, high drive, and then my sales career and like the corporate world. That's what I brought to this company was a high drive, high motor, leader, sales and marketing guy. And if you're going to start a business, like don't start a business because like you just love what you do, because eventually you're never going to be able to do it because
mhm.
you got to grow your business and work on your business. But yeah, simply noted is just hitting the ground running now. It took us about 2 years and about $850,000 to build our handwriting robot. Um, and it's literally the best thing. It's the best product in the world. There's nothing like it. It's purposely built from the ground up, to be the best handwriting robot in the world. So, I mean, we dive into the software that we built our own software, our own handwriting engine, our own like motherboard, like everything about it is
Wow.
our design, and that's why we have 6 pending patents, 3 design, 3 utility. But we just got done with that a few months ago. So now it's just all about scaling. For the first time ever, we actually have a marketing budget. So I mean, my average marketing
That's great.
budget, I mean, was nothing. It was peanuts. So I'm just excited for the future. The next 5 years are very bright. Our product is really cool. I mean, it's solving a real problem. We're integrating, automating, and scaling people's relationships, helping them grow their businesses through client retention and referrals or better reviews. So I'm excited, and what's really cool is that this we dreamed about this back in 2017, and now it's 2023, and we're in the best position we've ever been. So it, it's heartwarming to say the least. I'm extremely proud of
Yes.
it.
Incredible, incredible story. And that shows, as you mentioned, that yeah, you really have to have all these skill set around the grit, the curiosity, and try to work hard. And it one important thing which I really want to mention, mentioned earlier, is that there are a lot of people who are passionate and motivated, but when they get hardships or some kind of a speed bumps or roadblocks, the motivation goes down. So that is the actually the pivotal time we really have to keep working on it. So that really makes
Yep.
a difference. So so let's get to the last part of our segment, talking about, and again, I would also mention in between in this, I think you have shared a discount coupon of one free, and the link and show notes, all the information would definitely would be a part if you would like to kind of order a first free
Hmm.
simply noted letter in whatever format. You can go to the website simplynoted.com if I'm right, to get your one free copy
Hmm.
and experience it. Uh, so yeah, so let's get to the three main questions I would like to ask. The first question would be, how would you describe leadership in one word?
Leadership in one word. It's kind of hard, I would say, do it by one word. I would say like togetherness. I would say that's the best way to do things together. Be with your team.
Hmm.
Don't tell them what to do. Be there with them doing it. I think that's really important in a leader, especially in the early days.
Yeah, so kind of a team spirit.
Yep.
So yeah, the second question is about if you what is one advice you got from your mentor which really sticks around and still working out with you, which may be one of your one thing to go if everything goes wrong, this is the belief system you have. So what is one advice from your mentor?
Um, I mean, there's a slogan I was told by my coach,
Mhm.
and this, it's changed, but this is something that's always stuck with me: is that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And I think to be able to reach your maximum potential, you can't just rely on hard work, but working hard will get you 90% to where you need to go. And there's just a lot of smart people out there that will never reach their full potential because they're not willing to make the sacrifices that it takes to be elite at what they do. Um, and there's a lot of sacrifices, a lot of nights, a lot of weekends. Um, you have to focus on your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health. You will not ever be the best you can be without any of those three. So there's a lot of sacrifices that go into it. So I would say that's something that impacted my life. But now, being 5 years into owning a business, it's about bringing the right people around and having the right people to help you go further. Because you can go fast. You can go fast if you go alone, but if you want to go far, you got to go together. And that's kind of like the next evolution of that saying, I would say. And that's where I'm at now.
Awesome. So what I can say in this whole 33 minutes is one of the two things which you really believe in is obviously the team spirit and hard work, which is, I would say, as if you cannot get anything, these are the two things which you can always say that the team spirit and hard work is one of the Rick's, I would say, USP, and the way this is one of the thing and the ability which takes him from one place to another. So that being said, Rick, thank you so much for spending some time talking about Simply Noted and talking about your journey. Very inspiring. And that being said, I wish you all the best for your future endeavors and just keep rocking and simply just note it.
Thank you so